Zoom is trying to get me.
Yeah, it's testing you. How bad you
Hey,
want to do this
yeah,
podcast?
like it's late. Do you really want to? It's almost like a sobriety check. Before you say something stupid on the
Right,
podcast, we're gonna move the record button and make sure you really want to say it.
right. Well,
Yes.
according to the
So,
comments we've gotten on our superhero takes, maybe we shouldn't be doing this because nobody agrees. But that's okay because I know that we're right. So
woo, and the thing is, what's the best is chances are we'll be proven we're right down the
exactly.
stretch. I mean, I'm not,
Yeah, yeah. That's
I'm
all I have to say about
that's,
that.
I like the thing is, there's plenty of people that, I mean, if we're going to talk about the Robert, I almost call him Robert De Niro. See, I really am like my brain is like Robert Downey Jr. be like, see, she doesn't even know who the actor is who's playing
That's
it,
that's how they get you.
right? You're just like, listen, it's been a long week, people.
Yeah.
Try to move two kids into college, and we're a 2 day span where two and a half. It's Friday was 2.5 hours to one city. So it's 2.5 hour drive there, unpack her, 2.5 hour drive back. Basically enough time to eat, lay down, and then they're up the next morning and you're a 2 hour drive for the next one, unpack, 2 hour drive back.
Mm.
So yeah, forgive me, but Robert, I almost did it again. Robert Downey Jr. Like I still just like it. There's plenty of people that I see that agree with us
Yeah.
that this is not like it's again holding out hope much like we do we are true Marvel fans. Like we are not one of those like crap on it, like no matter what happens we're going to just crap on it whatever
Right.
time it comes out. It's like we want them to do good. Like we
That
are
like that's the part I feel like people don't understand. Like when we criticize it, which is what we talked about, you automatically get roped in, and it's like, no, we want it to be good, but we look at what you're doing, and it's like, no, that deserves criticism.
right. And if you, yeah, you can't be just you, because if you're the kind of person that can't call balls and strikes when it comes to your team, and let's say our team being Marvel, if you can't call balls and strikes in that, then it's like your opinion really does become in you're essentially the Angel Hernandez of Marvel fandom,
True.
like so it's like I mean, we're completely off track, off topic. What we were going to talk about, like, but we'll just finish this out. But I mean, like, we we want this to be a good thing. We are hesitant because, again, now they have built. They used to have a history of nothing but hits,
Hmm.
and now they have built a history of a lot of swing and misses. And so that history is starting to override the good history. Like you're going long enough to where like people are starting to kind of squint and be like, so we hope that Robert Downey Jr. like we hope that this is that they know what they're doing. Because and you'd be like, well, of course they know what they're doing. No, they
We've
don't.
seen that they don't. We've seen that they don't.
Right. So
Yeah.
forgive us for being a little hesitant to be like, this is the best thing ever. It may not be. And you also
Yeah.
like, as these fans have to is like, okay, are you willing to admit if it does go badly and if it's not right and if it does sink, will you have the balls to say it? The thing is, you
Right.
and I have no problem in saying if something like, hey, we were wrong about it. I'll
Yeah.
completely fall on my sword about it. Because again, it makes no difference. Disney is not cutting me a check one way or the other.
Right. We're not getting paid for our takes, but yeah, we if we see something that doesn't look good or looks like it could crash and burn, and we were right, then I told you so. But if we're wrong and it ends up being good, yeah, I would rather admit that I was
Yes.
wrong and enjoy the good content because me being right about a
Right.
show potentially being bad is not that important to me. It like I would rather Marvel, the Russo brothers, they pull a rabbit out of a hat,
Right.
and this is the casting of the century. I would love that. I would
Right.
love that. I just don't think it's going to happen, and we shouldn't be
Right.
criticized. And a lot of people, I saw some of the comments were like, "He's a great actor. He did such a good job with Iron Man." Blah blah blah. It's like we're not saying he's not a good actor.
Nobody
I think
once
he's a
criticized his
great
acting skills.
actor.
Right.
Right. It is not about his acting. It
No.
is why him when he played an anchor being for 10 plus years, however long it was. That is what threw us off. It lacked creativity. It was you I say
It seemed
overcorrect.
lazy. It
Yeah.
seems lazy.
Yeah, and I said overcorrect, but I don't think it's overcorrect because there wasn't anything to technically correct with Jonathan Majors. You just had
Right.
a situation. It wasn't like you made a
Right.
bad choice. You made a great
Right.
choice.
Right. You
And
made a
then
gay,
due to
he made a
unforeseen
bad choice.
circumstances, he
Right.
made a bad choice that forced you to change course.
Right. And
And then
it
you ended up over here.
and and we look at it as like there are hundreds of other I'm like, okay, you know, do this. There's dozens of other actors that could have fulfilled the role of Doom. And again, if I know word is out that it's supposed to be a variant and that he's supposed to, but I mean, like, I don't know if he's supposed to be the variant. But again, okay, let's say he's a variant and he's not the main variant, then why highlight him? That just confuses me. Like that he would have made a good like a good cameo,
Yeah.
right? As
I thought it
Doctor
would have been
Doom.
great. And it would, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's that
Make me just get all upset again, but it's fine.
but it's hilarious because it's like it's in the end it's like you're really not going to upset us if you disagree with us because I mean like it's it's not a hill that I'm willing to like that's my opinion, but it's not a hill that I'm like I'm going to sit here and defend. Like I'm going to be like the kind of person where if you charge up the hill and this is going to be your hill, like I'll let you have it. Bye. Like I'll
Yeah.
go find, I'll go find something
Yeah, I'll find a new hill. This is not like
right.
the hill I'm going to die on. This is
This
the
ain't
hill
it.
I'm on, and then I will go find a new hill. Like, what about that hill? What about that hill? I left.
It's right. He seemed to want it a lot more than I did.
Right.
So I let him have it because he was super passionate about how wrong I
Yeah.
was. So I was just like, you know what? You're right. It's your hill. Have at
Yeah.
it. But we are actually going to sidetrack, but I mean, like, we are
Yes.
actually going to discuss because we were talking about how both of us feel that kind of like when the kids go back to school, it's kind of like an unofficial start of a new year, a new
Yes.
semester, whatever. And usually when you're in school, especially in grade school, it's always like, what did you do over the summer? What did you
Yes.
enjoy? And then it's always, what do you hope to learn this year in school? What do you hope to, what's your goals for the school year? So we're going to kind of talk about things that we liked so far about the year and then kind of also things we're looking forward to. I will confess a lot of mine are just TV shows.
That's fair.
I mean,
Most
outside
of
of
mine.
football, I mean, like, it's like, I feel like football is a given, but it's like,
Right.
yeah. So, what did you enjoy over the summer?
Well, my first thing, and this is in no particular order of the calendar year, but the most recent thing in my head is obviously the Olympics. Like, and I mean, we can go back. I might have to clip this one with the first episode. We both got really excited talking about the Olympics back in January or February, whenever
Yes.
we
And
started.
it over delivered, I feel like.
Over delivered for how
Yes.
excited we were, which was a tall order. And
Yes.
halfway through, I was like, it could end today, and I am set. Like, absolutely loved it. So that
So
that would
good.
be my first thing that over the summer, just like the first half of the year, like that is
So good.
what I loved.
The stories that came out of it, the competitions were you top tier. Like you no, you couldn't have predicted Flavor Flav being like thrust into the spotlight for
Right.
women's water polo of all things. Like that's great. You've got the medal drama with Jordan,
Yeah,
which, which is crazy. She should just turn in Flavor Flav's bronze clock and call it a
she
day and be
should.
like, I don't know where the other one went, but this one
The drama with that, the drama
with Noah.
with Noah Lyles, which is still ongoing, and now he's moved on to beef with NFL players, and now he and Tyreek Hill are setting up a race because Tyreek basically said that he could beat him in a race, and Noah Lyles was like, "Who, the cheetah guy?" It's like, you know who Tyreek is. And then his next statement, he's like, Tyreek Hill's like, so you knew who he was. Like,
Right.
so they've been sending shots back and forth on different podcasts, and now they're gonna do like a 50-yard race. And I'm just like, I think it's funny, and I would love for Tyreek to win. And as much as I am a Noah Lyles hater, I'm like, Tyreek, like, you're not going to win. You're just not going to. I I think you're a great athlete. You are probably the fastest, at worst, the third fastest guy in the NFL currently.
Sure.
I believe you could keep it somewhat close. You're not going to beat him. But at the same time, like, that's okay because you're not supposed to beat him because he's a sprinter. But like they've been trading shots. So
Wouldn't it be
that's
something if he did though?
That's the thing. It is only a risk for Noah. It is zero risk for
Right.
Tyreek. If Tyreek loses, but is close, close in a 50-yard dash, it's like, yeah, you got beat by the gold medal
Right.
100-meter uh whip champion, world champion.
Plus,
If
doesn't
you
it seem
lose,
like it would so affect Tyreek less if he loses?
yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm
I'm talking
saying.
about
Like if he
personality wise.
loses, yeah,
Okay.
Noah will point the finger, and all 12 year-round track fans, because I love track and field, but let's be honest, like I'll forget about it in like 2 weeks. The 12 year-round track fans are going to point at Tyreek and be like, ha ha, you lost. And the rest of the NFL fans are like, okay, Noah, let me see you catch a touchdown pass. That'll be the end of it. But if
Right.
Tyreek won, it would like crumble everything that is Noah Lyles. Like he would not recover from that.
Yeah, no, he's his person he I I would hate for him to catch COVID again. But I mean, it's
Right.
and again, I mean, I don't, please don't sue me. I don't know if you had it or not, but wasn't there video of him like at the club dancing?
He out the club dancing right after the race, like the next night. But then when they were introducing people, he like you're supposed to walk out your door and wave. He like jumped out the door and had like a whole choreographed
Who
dance.
who did he channel? Who did he not whose lesson did he not learn? Apollo's. Apollo Creed's.
Oh,
He did
okay.
not learn Apollo Creed's lesson from
That's
Rocky
true.
Four, where you do not put
He
on
had the
a
red,
song
white,
and
and
dance
blue,
number
had the top hat.
before you get your ass beat.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, it would have been hilarious if a Russian beat him in that sprint. That would have been the cherry on top.
and then the Cold War started up.
Right.
The way everything reversed from Rocky being
Like,
all the
yeah,
good that Rocky had done.
it's zero risk for Tyreek. Like they can send their shots back and forth,
Right.
but like Tyreek, you have literally nothing to lose except
No.
for maybe a pulled hamstring. Like
Right.
you're good. You're going because you will probably lose. I'm like 90% sure you'll lose.
Telling you, but what if he wins?
That's the thing. If he wins, it will be front page news. Like it will stay in the news cycle. Whereas if Noah Lyles wins, it will be on Twitter for like a day. And then even still, the comment section will go, Tyreek Hill loses to Noah Lyles in 50-yard sprint after sparring verbally online. And then all of the comments will immediately go to, well, at least like he kept it close and he kept it closer than a lot of people. Good for him for stepping up to the champion of the world. Like it is zero risk for him. If
It's
he
none.
loses, it's just like, okay. But if he wins, it puts him into a whole new stratosphere. It'll
NBA
go on his
fans
Hall of
and
Fame resume.
NFL fans and NBA fans will be grasping hands like the Bloodsport,
Exactly. Like
raising the
it,
flag.
it, it is so one-sided because Noah, you gain nothing from beating him. Like I want the race to happen. I thrive off negativity, so like I want to see it. But Noah, if he wins, if Noah smokes him, it doesn't matter. The immediate response will be like,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
duh, you're supposed
right,
to.
right.
Like
You're the
you
Olympic
think,
champion, sure.
yeah, it's small reward, big risk, small reward for him. But that honestly could go into my list of things I'm looking forward to if they actually have the race.
If they do it, is it going to be most?
Yeah.
Is it turning out to be like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight?
Yeah. I try not to follow that. Boxing's dead. I just, yeah. But then, yeah, I think, and I made a TikTok video about it that I just think social media has created another element of the Olympics that makes us care so much more because
Oh,
we
yeah,
get to see these athletes, not just them competing and not just their NBC sit down interviews. Like you actually get to see them out and about,
sure.
and they're somewhat unfiltered because it's not like you have your PR team sitting there and the camera's like, "Oh, we're gonna be rolling in 5 minutes, and here's your script." All they have to do is grab their phone and
And you can talk immediately to one of them. And
exactly,
you can comment and possibly have one of them respond back. Like
exactly,
and it's immediacy. Like you've never been so close to these competitors
yeah,
than ever. And it's yeah, it's I and I really do think I even though it's like in the age of like dropping all the episodes for a TV series all at one time and people binge it, I really do think things like I mean clearly like the NFL has always had the highest ratings for like they'll always have like out of 100 shows or top TV shows being watched, there are always like 85 of them at the end of the
yeah,
year. So it's like live sports, which that was obviously live sports and like House of the Dragon. There are a few things that are dropped weekly that people will. I mean, like I'm not of the Bachelor Bachelorette world, but I know that that's really big for
that
some
is a
people.
big one as well. Yeah, I'm not either, but I like when it's on, you know it's on.
You know it's on because it's
Yeah.
like oh, I mean, like the tweets and everything. It's like I really do think that as much as people are like, oh God, I want all the episodes now. I really do think you get somebody 5 beer drunk and they would admit to they enjoy the kind of like gathering of everybody watching something simultaneously
Yeah,
live and talking about it. I
agree.
mean, it's why sports are so big on social medias because people are live tweeting and talking about it as it happens. And it's like, it's not, well, the game's on and it's like whatever time you catch it, then you might be talking about it. Everybody tends to be watching it at one time. And so it's like, I
Hmm.
think the Olympics, people really got to enjoy that for a 2 week span.
Yeah,
Like, that's true that people might have been watching different competitions at different times, but on a certain day, everybody was talking about a particular sport or a particular competition or a
yep.
particular race or something that was going on that day that kind of everybody would have been able to enjoy around the same time.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really hope that it kind of continues. I hope it doesn't become to the point where it's like NFL draft day where it's like, no, I don't need 3 days of concerts leading up to this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like just let it be what it is in its pure form, but it's going to be over processed and it's the all soul is going to be wrung out of it.
Yeah.
It especially when
It
they
becomes a
see
part of the machine, unfortunately.
right. Because I mean, I think they said this was the biggest streaming watched one for how like a whole bunch of them combined.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
that's
again, with social media, if there was an event or an athlete that you maybe weren't following, now that you've seen this person on social media, or you see the conversation about this person on social media, maybe an event that you weren't going to tune into,
Sure.
or you had something maybe going on. So like, oh, I'm not going to watch it right now. But oh no, I saw a TikTok. I saw multiple TikToks about this person, or I saw TikToks of this person.
Right.
Now I'm tuning in to the Olympics to watch this. So it brought even more people to the already large masses that came in.
Like Muffin
So
Man. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. Like that
it
was a thing.
was
And
a
honestly,
thing.
anything happened in the Olympic Village, but the man and these chocolate muffins had us in a chokehold. Just stuff like that. Like, take away the Olympics and I don't care. But these athletes from different countries
Love it.
talking about how good these muffins are, and I'm locked in. I'm
Love
locked
it.
in.
I mean, it's just I like I said, I liked the individual just stories and jokes and memes and everything that came out of it. Just that yeah, I mean, there social media obviously does have its downsides, but there's
Oh yeah.
times like this that you're just like this like with all the memes about Noah Lyles and the NBA and all those tweets. I mean, like they just were so good, and you're like, this is why we need social media because this is
Yeah.
it's so it's so good. It's so good.
My
So
other ones, I loved the Fallout series, which I knew I would. That was a good one. And then this one's a little bit different. Not different, but oh, we have our guest star
yes,
again.
so we have
My other one was two movies that were not on my radar that I ended up might be like some of my favorite movies for the year. Like you had like when you look at the year of slate of movies coming out for the year,
right,
you have the ones you've pinpointed. Like
right.
oh, like when I see
Doom 2. Yeah,
yeah,
you
Dune
knew.
2, like that one's circled on the calendar. When I see
Right.
Christopher Nolan is making a movie about the atom bomb, like okay, cool,
Sure.
Oppenheimer is circled, but Fall Guy and Civil War, again,
Yes.
two completely opposite movies, were two movies that were not on my radar at all. Didn't even know they were being made. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that one. Hadn't heard of either of them.
Hmm.
And then like leading up to it, I heard a little bit about them, but still not a ton of hype around them. And then I saw Civil War, I saw a little bit later. So Fall Guy, I just saw before it came out because I saw it with you and absolutely loved it.
Oh
And
my gosh.
unfortunately, it didn't do well at the box office, but I genuinely loved everything about that movie.
Love it so much. You
And
need
then
carbs.
it's just you need carbs for like basic, so I forget what it
Your
was.
brain functions off of carbs.
Oh, it's just so good. The acting, the story, the action, the cast outside of just the stars, like so good. And that one I
So
went
good.
into blind. Like I saw the trailers for it, but there wasn't
Right.
any hype around it. And then Civil War, there wasn't as much hype around it. But then when it came out, I started seeing people talking about like, oh, you need to see this movie. And then I saw it and I saw why the hype was there and not like, oh man, the explosions and this and this. Like, no, like just the raw story of it. So,
100%
two
agree.
movies that were not on my radar that I just like, there was just something about it that I appreciated, that it wasn't something that I had circled on the calendar. It was something that truly had like no plans to see.
And you
And
saw them in the theater. And the theater
yes,
experience for both
that
of those
too.
movies made I I'm sorry if you had not seen Civil War in the theaters. I'm really actually kind of sorry for you because
Yeah.
it was like edge of your seat, gripping the seat. You were
Yeah.
so the thing like you felt like somebody was sitting on your chest the entire time.
Yes.
Like you just such dread and just foreboding going into this road trip of
Yeah.
sorts. It just I feel bad
Yeah.
if you didn't watch it at home, turn off all the lights and try to make it as a intense experience as you can, because that's
Stay off the phone, like put the phone in a whole different room and just sit and watch it. Like that
right.
movie was deep. And it was like interesting because both movies I didn't have circled on my calendar, but both of them had different hype around them. Whereas Fall Guy, I saw the premiere, the local premiere, so there was no one like pushing me to see it. And then the other one, I had seen it, I had seen trailers for it, didn't think much of it, and then 3, 4 days after it came out, you and then just random people on social media were like, "You need to see this movie." So that's when the hype train started. But it was a late hype train again.
Right.
It's like it was two movies that they weren't circled on my calendar. They weren't even on my calendar. Like in January, if you had said,
Yep.
"Oh, are you excited about Fall Guy or Civil War?" I'd be like, "I have
What?
no idea what those are." I,
Huh?
Civil War came out a while ago. Tony Stark and the Avenger. Like, yeah, I've already seen
Right.
it. I've already seen it.
Yeah. No, yeah. And Fall Guy made you appreciate movie making and those who
Yes,
put their bodies on the line for great action movie. It just in any it's such a love letter to those undervalued, like under recognized, maybe not
yes.
undervalued, but just under recognized stars. I mean, just just Ryan Gosling, just for him, from being able to do Ken to like to this, it's such a treat of a movie. It's such a just it's just
It
it's
didn't do well at the box office, and that bums me out
yeah.
so much because again, it wasn't just like oh, this is a cheesy rom-com. Like, no, like this was a good movie.
It
It
was.
was so good. And I remember I was on social media telling people like you need to go see this movie. And then
Yeah.
the box office numbers came out and I was like I kept like talking about it. Obviously my reach didn't go that far, but that movie what to me flew so far under the radar
Oh,
and I absolutely
it's
loved
like
it.
Bullet Train. It was like Bullet
Yeah,
Train because I
that
don't know.
exactly.
I don't know how many people went and saw Bullet Train like in the theater, and it's like it's one of those things where you're like,
I
man,
didn't and I wish I did.
you really missed out. Like you really missed out on like that movie. That I can turn on that movie at any at any point and
Yeah.
just watch it's the cast, and it is, yeah, it to me it was like that. It was
Yeah.
again where you're like, it just, yeah, no, I can't wait for it. I know it's supposed to be streaming here, and I mean I know it's for rent and on video demand right now, but I can't wait for it to I can't wait for it to stream. I can't, because it's just like I said, just the part with just Aaron Taylor
Aaron
Johnson,
Taylor
Aaron
Johnson.
James, just that you need cars. Like you're not thinking straight. Your brain
So
works.
good.
The writing in it is just,
Yeah.
and yeah, Ryan is so, yeah, he's the underappreciated Ryan.
Right. And then my other two favorite things I look back on is obviously House of the Dragon. And we had our talk last episode or 2 episodes ago about the finale itself and the season as a whole. And you have swayed me a bit. I still do wish a little bit more happened, but looking back on the things that did happen and the dialogue that was had between characters throughout the season, specifically the finale, I thought overall it was a really good season. Again,
Yes.
there wasn't blood and guts and explosions everywhere, but there were some. And while I again, it was one of those things where because I thought it was going to move the story forward this far, when it didn't, that was immediately a knock against it.
Right.
But that was more of a personal, like, I thought you were going to do this. So that made me upset. But when I look at what you actually did do, it was good.
It's I really do hope that maybe it can make some people read the book after this is over, because I think then maybe they might appreciate how they didn't speed through it to get to the battles.
Yeah.
like, because if we would have jumped right into it, again, people then would have been complaining about the pacing and like, oh, and then it was, oh, and like, you guys rushed through this. Well, it's like, well, okay, but you can't have it both ways. Like,
Yeah.
whether you like it or whether you agree with it, whether whatever reasons they had, we only had 8 episodes. Had there have been 10, I really do think they would have. I really think the pacing they would have changed for season two. I think they might have sped a few things up a little bit more just to get to that first battle and end it with how it ended. But they didn't. And so it's like I
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that they didn't try to cram it into an 8 episode season and instead be like, hey, we're going to draw a few of these things out, the things that didn't happen in the book, but hey, there's a lot of wiggle room here and we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to put in some really great conversations. We're going to have this go in directions that you didn't get in the book. And then we'll leave the room and the room to breathe for these battles to come. Okay. I mean, now
Yeah.
again, if they end up speeding through it and they could again make me eat my words and I will say, hey, yeah, it sucked. But again, I don't carry water for these people. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I, with 8 episodes, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. What about you? Oh yeah, and college football video game that after 14 years getting, or no, how long? Not 14 years. It was like 11 years. NCAA 14 was the last one. Getting that game back, I've already built my dynasty. I was at Western Kentucky, recruited, won a couple championships. Now I'm at Mizzou, just doing my thing, waiting for North Carolina to give me a call. So
Yeah, as Mike Gundy told you to stop contacting your agent or have stop having your agents contact him and just play the game.
not quite yet, but it's coming.
It's getting there. Is he going to have to
Yeah.
talk with you?
I've enjoyed being able to play the college football video games again, especially going into college football. It's just been fun to go back and recruit and go through the grind. I talked with Sarah, like she'll come in when I'm gaming and she'll see like I won't be playing a game. I'm like recruiting people, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get this guy. He's looking at Texas right now, but I'm trying to recruit him. I'm trying to sway his vote, and we're closer to home, so the proximity to home plus." We're in the SEC, so our
That's
conference
crazy that it goes into all that.
it does.
But did you
It's
see that Mike
wild.
Gundy story?
Yes, literally,
It's hilarious.
yeah. But
That's
anyway, those are
hilarious.
those my things that I enjoyed for the first
I really do agree with you. I mean,
months.
I always look forward to baseball, regardless of how the season turns out. I'm a baseball fan. I am more than a Cardinals fan. I am a baseball fan. So I look forward to the year, all the stories that come out. The the Cardinals are, I mean, good or bad, it makes for some stories
They're
during
doing
the year.
something.
It's a confusing organization right now. They are really throwing things against the wall, seeing what will stick.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of updates on my phone, and I'm just like, okay, we're doing something. We are doing something.
We're doing things. Yes, we are doing things. I am surprised actually that it took this long to send Gorman back down to AAA. Because I don't, he's always I don't think he ever broke 202, 203. So
Mm-mm.
it's been a long time coming. But see, yeah, no, I always look forward to baseball. Like I just do. Like I said, I'm a baseball fan.
Yeah,
I know people will. I know right now the big story right now for the Cardinals is the attendance was so down that it was the
lowest
lowest,
it's in this stadium.
yeah, lowest in Bush three during a non-pandemic year. Which again, like they were also saying, is there's also 20 teams that would kill for 30,000 people there. Now, whether or not 30,000 people actually showed up, there's always the reported, and then there's actually what
It gets
shows. That's
sold and
different.
turnstiles, all of that.
I am always going to be one of those people that goes to games. I respect people who don't, who were like, I'm not going to give them my money. I get that. Like I said, I am not taking the high ground, the moral high ground here by saying, well, I'm a baseball fan. There are different group, like there are some people that are just Cardinal fans. And if you are just a Cardinal fan, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I go because I know the players, not I don't personally know, but I know I watch enough baseball. I take enough stats that I listen to enough podcasts that I want to be able to go see. Take, for instance, I just went to Sunday's game, see Clayton Kershaw right in front of me. I want to
Yeah.
see Mookie Betts right there at the wall. I want those. It's not just the Cardinals. I am there to see people that it's kind of like, especially at the age that I am, I could be 48 next month. Thank you. Um, you start, and then when you people in your generation, as far as like celebrities, and then specifically musical performers, musical artists, and again, we lost Prince, Michael Jackson, all them when he's very early.
Yes.
But when you do lose them and you have not seen them play in concert, the older you get, you start to kind of really be like, I'm really in touch with my morality, like or my mortality. I get I get that I'm not, again, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. It's fine. But chances are I'm not dying tomorrow. But you start to really realize, okay, I really want to see this player play on the field. I may never have this chance again,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like Max Scherzer. I don't know how many more seasons I would have had the chance to go to the baseball game and sit right behind the dugout and just see him.
Could have
That
seen him
those
quite a bit if the Cardinals did what they were supposed to do.
right. But these are my rock stars. Like
Yeah.
baseball players are my rock stars. I'm not, it's it's not cleat chasing.
Right.
I'm not a cleat chaser. I always, the joke is always that like baseball players should never hit on me because I'll tell you your batting average. It's because like I know I keep the stats. I know this. I know all of these. So it's like
Yeah.
these are my rock stars. I know people want to see Elton John, they want to see Rolling Stones, they want to see Taylor Swift, everybody before they just stop touring. These are my celebrities. These are the ones that I want to see. So I'm never
Yeah.
going to stop going to baseball games. That's so, and we're coming down to the end of the year, so it's not gonna be around much longer anyways, because
That's true.
we are 12 games out and we are down by two again already.
Yeah.
Even after a home run to tie it up here in the middle of the game. But that's aside from the point. But yeah, no, I'm with you on the Olympics. I think, like I said, I think it was nice to have the Olympics over deliver with what we were hoping.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. Like I just didn't want it to be like, oh, and it went out with a whimper and no one cared. So I was really glad about that. But my list more is about things I'm looking forward to
Yes.
outside of football. I am really interested in what the Steelers are going to do as far as the quarterback situation because
Aren't we all?
it is turning out like who could have ever predicted that the younger kid seems better on the field than the older guy, but like who would have thunk it? Who would have
Yeah.
thunk it?
How much longer does Russ have? I mean, because if he doesn't make it, if he doesn't become the starter here, there's, I doubt he agrees. I mean, he'll be a backup for the season. Like, I don't think he's going to ask for a release. But I mean, at this point, your best bet is to trade him to the Vikings because, they need a starter. But I just feel like this could be it for him, which is wild because, I mean, there was a time, I know he was never the best quarterback in the league, but I don't know, didn't see his career going this way.
No, but I don't think a lot of them ever do see their career
That's
going.
true. That's true.
Like you like did anybody see Brady ending up with Tampa Bay? Did anybody see Antonio Brown walking off the field in Tampa Bay? Like
What a
it's
time. Matthew
I
Stafford in a Rams jersey,
right. Them yeah.
Peyton on the Broncos. It happens for a
Kirk
lot of
Cousins
people.
for the Falcons. I mean, like
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
It's
Justin Fields.
I'm yeah. So I mean, obviously I'm watching Hard Knocks with the Bears, um, seeing how that all plays out. I mean, I wish the best for him. I mean, Caleb Williams seems like it'd be interesting to see how he does.
I'm
I
not
gotta
I've never been sold on him. My most recent comparison, although I do feel like people are kind of losing it. I feel like Caleb Williams has a lot of people saying like he's the guy, he's the clear-cut number one pick. Obviously, he was the number one pick, but I have seen a few people question him. But I compared him to Sam Darnold when he came out of USC. All I heard, he's tall, he's got the broad shoulders, the strong arm. And I remember saying over and over and over and over, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think he's going to be what you guys think he's going to be. And everyone's like, well, the scouts have all said this, the experts have all said this, and now he's the backup in Carolina. Like, and
right.
he's bounced around the league. And I think Caleb Williams will be better than that. But I just remember so vividly how all of the experts were talking up Sam Darnold. And he has had multiple opportunities. And I'm someone that believes that a franchise can hurt slash ruin a player. So I'm not saying that every team he went to was the best situation. But Sam Darnold had multiple chances to show that he was the guy, and he
Right.
hasn't done it. And now I go look at all of the experts, and I'm like, yeah, y'all wouldn't shut up about him. So I look at Caleb Williams, and I'm just like, I don't see all of the hype. I think he'll be fine. I do think there is something to be said about the Bears building up the team as soon as they got a new quarterback. But so he'll be better than their last quarterback in Justin Fields. But I don't see that transcendent quarterback that we were being told about.
And they don't have a good track record for developing quarterbacks. So,
No,
I mean,
at all.
not for at least the last 10 years. Because what was Rex? Um,
Rex Grossman,
yeah, I mean, okay,
2008.
You had Jay Cutler, but I mean, like,
Yeah, he was already established from Denver. Established.
right. So outside of football, here's a few of the
Yes.
shows. I'm going to list off the shows
Hmm.
that I am kind of looking forward to. Um, I literally wrote one of them down and now I can't remember what it's even about. I'm gonna have to look it up. But The Penguin,
Yes, I have that one written down.
Agatha.
Did not have that one. Good
I am
call.
actually just because I like it's kind of Halloweeny-ish and it's at that time of year, so I'm like, all right, let's
And
see.
Catherine Hahn. I love everything she's in.
Right.
She fully
Now
commits
I
to
do
being
love
bold.
Only Murders in the Building. I feel like if you haven't seen that show, it is really for people that have watched it, understand how great it is. For people that haven't, are probably like a little like sketch to check it out. They're like, oh, Steve Martin and Martin Short. Like, why would I watch this? Come, I'm just telling you, you should. Like, it's
We're
a
a
great.
season behind because we have like six other shows, and we will get locked into Only Murders and neglect all our other shows. So I put my foot down and told Sarah that we can't watch the last season until we finish
You
the
can't.
two other shows. And she texted me
Oh no.
2 days ago and
Whatever it is,
said,
I'm on her side.
she said the next season, so season 4 of
Yes.
Only Murders premieres next week or this week. I think it's next week. And we haven't even started last season. And I was like, yeah, but we haven't finished our other show yet. And
Oh.
she's like, so we need to finish it then. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you, but I say these things for a reason. But we love the show. We're just behind. But
Yes. But is it not good? Is it
it
not?
is so
It's
it's something,
not.
yeah.
It's not what you. I mean, I know it's probably like it's very not a. It seems like it's not going to be a young person show. I swear to God. But like, you
When you
really should.
see Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena
Oh,
Gomez, but you see those two guys get top billing, you're like, but it's so good.
they're so. The thing
So
is, you do
good.
appreciate the fact that like for the last 40, 50 years, they have been friends, and you can tell. that they
Yes.
have. They work so well off of each other that like it makes you want to go watch Three Amigos again. If you haven't seen that movie, you
Yes.
absolutely need to freaking see that movie. Like I can't begin to tell you how much you need to see that movie. So I those are like The Penguin, Agatha, Only Murders in the Building.
Hmm.
Fight Night, the one I think it's gonna be on Peacock. It's got
With
like
Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
Hart.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
that one intrigues me. American Sports Story with Ryan Murphy. You know how he does his
Yeah.
American, he's doing it on Aaron Hernandez. American
I
Sports
I did
Story.
see a trailer for that or a
Yes.
commercial for that.
Yes. Also, much like they had Monsters and it was Jeffrey Dahmer, they're doing Monsters, the Eric and Lyle Menendez. So I'm also very that's again, I think that's another Ryan Murphy production because I do
Hmm.
believe he did Monsters with the Jeffrey Dahmer. This is Monsters with Eric and Lyle Menendez. And then Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods. It's an animated series. It's going to be based off of Norse mythology.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
it's I think it premieres
what's
September.
it called?
Twilight of the Gods. Type it in right now.
Yes.
Because I was like, I can't on my list, and I'm like, what did I do? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. This was the yes, is yes, an adult animated television series based on Norse mythology, which they're like, oh, an adult one.
Steve
So
Martin, Jamie Chung. Wow. Okay.
yeah. And that
Or
like
Stuart.
comes out and like Hans Zimmer is like the composer of it.
Oh, that's all you had to say. Hans
Right.
Zimmer.
September 29th. I mean, I'm not sorry, it's not September 20th. September 19th is when the show comes out. Have you
What
seen
is
much about
this
it?
on? Do what?
I said, have you seen it? Like again, like have you even
I
seen
have
anything?
not. Where can I watch this?
Right. It is going to be I
Oh, it's
believe
on
it's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's on
Yes.
Netflix. It says TV Youth 7. Why would you say 7? And I see blood and guts everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's supposed to be blood and guts. It's supposed to be adult
So I
animation.
love Greek and Norse mythology, and Netflix was supposed to have their Game of Thrones type show
Sure.
about Greek mythology called Chaos, but now it's been rebranded to a modern day telling of Greek mythology with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
I'm
that's
interested,
odd.
but I'm less interested because what it was supposed to be when Game of Thrones was taking off, they were like, okay, so people don't mind the
Sure.
medieval bow and arrow type of type of
Right.
shows. And they're like, we have the script right here. We have the Odyssey. We have like the playbook. And they were
Right.
going to make just a super in-depth, raw, gritty look at Greek mythology. And it just kept getting delayed, delayed, delayed. And then
Mm.
Netflix finally released a trailer, and it's Jeff Goldblum, and he's wearing like an all-white suit and a gold Rolex. And I'm like, this is not what was pitched to me
This
back in
is right.
2018.
Right. This is
Ugh,
like getting the burger that doesn't match the commercial. Like, huh?
exactly.
Right, yeah. But
One
anyway,
show I'm
so
surprised you didn't say was What We Do in the Shadows.
when is it coming? I haven't seen anything about it.
October 21st.
Oh,
When you were saying the Halloween shows, I was like, oh, What We Do is going to be on their list. And
yeah. And then I forgot about it because it's again such a good show. So
yes.
it's so y-
Isn't that
like, and
still
the
your
thing is,
phone case?
huh, yeah, and my phone case is Naja. Um, that everybody was always like, "Who's on your phone case?" And I'm like, I'm like, if you know, you know. If you don't,
Yes.
I can't help you with it. Like, so, and the thing is, trying to like, I know I like try to. I was like, I try to or I did convince you to watch it,
Yes.
but trying to sell this show, especially after you just see the first episode, you're like, what am I watching? Like, this is the dumbest, most
I'm just
base.
thinking about the random storylines that have gone on over the years. And like something about filming it in a docu-series
Yes.
style just makes it so much better because some people don't like it because it's like those shows explain the joke to you.
Right.
I like it because it does. Like
Oh,
people
it's
do the most random stuff, and then you see them sitting on the couch
talking
talking
about it.
about the random stuff they just did.
And it's
So
so
good.
you can tell that they're that it's a very, very loose script that they're
Yes.
given, and that it is a lot of improv. And the you could I don't know how you could do it with any other cast but this. Like
So
he-
good.
um I forgot his first name. I know his last name is Barry. Is it Matthew Barry? Okay, Matt. Is it Matt
Yeah.
Barry? Him his last name. And then I you you can't, and it's so, and I again, like, you try to be like, okay, you try to sell it to somebody like it's vampires and they're what, and it's the
How do you
it,
explain Colin Robinson as a vampire to like someone that hasn't seen the show? How do you explain an energy vampire to someone?
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like you're like, well, somebody who literally just sucks the life out of every room. But it's like, it again, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it, because you the jokes are relatable, because you do think, oh yeah, like there's an episode, and I know you remember this, where it's werewolves and vampires are facing off, and they're
Yeah.
facing off on a roof, and how they defeat, I mean, spoiler alert, they defeat the werewolves, but how they defeat the werewolves is so stupid. But then when you're like, well, yeah, that would make sense. Like, they're dogs. Like,
Yeah.
like, why? Of course. So it's like, it's those kind of things where you're like,
And it's
yeah,
also
like,
not a period piece, but it's set in modern day. But these vampires who have been alive for thousands of years
right.
will still randomly, not randomly, but like they will, in the middle of conversation or just their everyday lives, will revert back to things from the
Past.
ninth
Yes.
century.
Yes.
And that's like that's how they operate. But we're in
In
the age of cars and planes.
and their use of art during an
Yes.
episode, where they'll be telling a story about the past, and they inject themselves into that art with like with I'm blanking on the one vampire's name. I know there's Laszlo, Nadja, and
Nandor,
yeah, Nandor. When,
the
like,
Relentless.
yes, how he would be like in that portrait where it shows like that was the one that they discovered that he had attacked Nadja's village. And it was just, I just you I again, I wish people would watch it. There is one episode that it will blow you away with the cameos that are in it.
Yes, I think that was like the season one finale.
Yes.
The amount of cameos, he like
The
mind blowing.
Yes, that you haven't, if whoever you can think of as vampires, or people who even kind of seem like vampires in Hollywood, are almost it are in this episode. And if they're not, they talk about, like, they
Yes.
refer to them. Like, it's yeah, I do love that show. I love that show. Like, oh, just when Nandor goes and he has his fangs removed, I with the hair, I just
Yeah.
it's it makes me so happy. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And that, like, again, trying to explain Colin Robinson, but the part where he becomes the manager of the office, and
Yes.
you
Just you see the people just
just
slowly slumping over.
and his head
It
gets
just
bigger.
the most random things about the show that they will work into the episodes because
But
you
you're
just
like,
don't know what
you're
to.
like, then duh. Like after you
Yes.
think about the joke, you're like, of course. Like, but I couldn't, my brain couldn't even do that. They've had friggin' Mark Hamill in an episode. Like, it just can't even, who's
Forgot
taken
about
by a
that.
Billy Bob Fish. Like, I just
Yes. Ugh.
yes, no. But anyways, I do hope that, are you interested about Twilight of the Gods now?
Yeah. Oh, I will be watching it. Like that's on my
Okay.
list. Yeah. So I've got
Okay.
Rings of Power on there. I think
Oh,
that
season two.
yeah, I have a lot of shows going into the fall. Um, Dune Prophecy in November. So I have the date. So what we do in the shadows is October 21st.
Okay.
The Penguin is September 19th. Dune Prophecy is November 24th, so like right before Thanksgiving, right on
Okay.
Thanksgiving. And then Rings of Power is like next week on August 29th. So I'm booked. And then football, obviously.
And then football. Like, when's the Penguin?
September 19th.
So that's the same time as Twilight of the Gods.
Okay. And I don't know how HBO or Max, whatever you prefer to call it, how they do their seasons. Is it like they just dump them all at once?
I would
Or
think that they would handle it the same way that they're doing that they did she House of the Dragon. I would think they would do it week by week because they
oh,
didn't
that's
didn't
true.
they do the
And they
late
did
the
Last of Us that way as well.
and the Lakers, the whole Lakers
Winning time.
yeah, it was that the one with John C. Riley or was
Yes.
that FX? I might be getting
Oh
my
wait.
thing.
Winning time was the Lakers one. The other one was the Clippers. Clipped. That was FX.
Okay, all right. So yeah, the winning time then. The other one with John C. Riley. The More American Sports Story with Aaron Hernandez is September 17th. That is going to be a busy week
Yeah.
because you got two things coming out the 19th. Um, I do want to see, I do, like I said, I grew up with the Eric and Lyle Menendez thing. That's just a crazy story. Um, so like I'm interested in like that's kind of my but like I'm afraid it's gonna come out. What does it come out? Had they ever given a date on when the Stranger Things is ever coming back out again?
I am not sure.
Yeah. September 9th. That one is September 19th too. Netflix is killing me. So there's almost everything. And then that fight, like I said, that fight night, I'm just kind of interested just because of the cast. Like it's
Yeah.
a crazy amount of people in that show. So I'm interested in seeing that one. But it seems like, okay, everything is coming out in on 1 week in September.
Oh, wow. Chaos comes out August 29th as well. And that's the Greek mythology show that broke my heart. A modern day contemporary retelling of Greek mythology. I need to go to like the trivia random notes and see if they're like, yeah, so this was supposed to be something completely different because they were inspired by Game of Thrones and it was supposed to be dark and gritty like Vikings and like
Right.
it was supposed to be like Game of Thrones and Vikings and Black Sails or Black Flag. Like it was supposed to be just raw,
Right.
not polished. And somehow we ended up in a modern retelling
With Jeff Goldblum in a white suit. So like
with
that
Jeff Goldblum.
seems to make sense. So
He is Zeus. He is Zeus.
yeah, those are our do you have any more things you're looking forward to? Is your mainly it's kind of the same thing, a lot of shows?
Yeah, it's pretty much shows football, and then next week I am going to see Twisters is coming back into the 4D theater.
Really?
Coming back for 1 week. I got my tickets like a week ago,
I enjoyed it.
and I've never seen a movie in 4D. I take that back. I did a 4D ride at Universal Studios, but I haven't seen like a full-length movie in 4D.
Oh,
And I was like, I feel like Twisters would be the one to see.
yeah.
So like I
It's
got
fun.
tickets. I'm gonna strap myself in and
I
I'm
really
excited
want to
for it.
hate Glenn Powell, like, because I feel like he's being force
Everybody
fed.
said.
I do. I want to hate him. Like, and that makes no sense. Like, that's so
No, I
dumb.
get it. When you feel like someone's being force fed and it's like you're wanting to push back against what they're forcing onto us.
Yeah, you're like, okay, is he that charming? And then, like, damn it, he is. And then you're like, like this. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be irritated with myself or like you just kind of feel dirty because you're just like, oh, like I can't believe this. It's very funny. Like, there's a scene in the movie. This is not a spoiler alert, but I mean, like, there's a scene in the movie where I mean, it's not a secret. Glenn Powell is an attractive man. He's very well built. There's a scene where they have him in a rainstorm in a white t-shirt and a cowboy hat.
The
Tell me
cowboy. Yeah,
they
that was in
don't
the trailer. Yeah,
tell
they knew
me
what they were
but
doing.
a thunderstorm, which means wet t-shirt. I mean, tell me they don't know what they're doing. And you're just like, why is this working? Like, and then and then he's charming, and you're like, come on. Like, again, I'm mad at them. I'm mad at me. Like, do you have like? I don't want to like you. You know, like.
I get it.
Ew. But yeah, no, I think it's a fun movie. I think it's
No, you
I
you did everything that I said. I'm really excited for the Penguin. I'm excited to get back to that version of Gotham. Obviously, we both enjoyed the
Batman.
Batman.
Hmm. Which
Um,
you're supposed to watch this. You're supposed to watch the Penguin before you see the next Batman
Interesting.
because it's supposed
So
to.
this is
This is supposed.
after Falcone. Is Falcone the one that died?
Yes.
Yeah, after he died. My one gripe with the Batman is that the whole thing went down with uh who did they catch?
The Riddler.
Yeah, but I think it was they caught the Penguin, and then once they caught him, I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's the villain, the end. And then because like I felt like they had the Riddler, people were dying, and the Penguin was involved, and then they leaned really heavily into the Penguin because they thought that he was the one doing it. And
Right.
then when he finally gets arrested and all of that, it was like, oh, okay. And then it was like, oh yeah, we also still have the actual killer. Like I was like, oh, this took a while. And then he shoots Falcone as he's walking out of the nightclub. And I was like, oh yeah, the real bad guy is still out there. Like,
Right.
as much as I liked it, there was a
Sure.
moment where I was like, man, this is running
So
for a while.
yeah, like every time you just about thought the movie was over, it just kept going, which again, it's a minor gripe because again, it was still a good movie. It was
Yeah,
just you'd have those brief moments of like in the movie's over and then
yeah.
and it got good and then it would be like and now and yeah, so I completely understand. But that's you're supposed to see from my understanding, you're supposed to see this before the new Batman movie because this is supposed to show the setup of obviously of the Penguin and this in Gotham before the next movie. So
Cool. I'm
we'll see.
excited. I liked that.
I
Again, I
know.
liked that Batman movie. I liked that version that we got to see of Gotham, and I'm curious to see what
Is it
they
the
can
same
show us.
director?
I believe so.
Matt Reeves. Is Matt Reeves supposed to do
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Well, it
So I'm
should.
excited to see what we can see in Gotham stretched out over, 8 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a fun school year.
Yes.
And it'll bring us right back and it'll bring us right back to the summer and whatever goodness we can dredge up with this. But I think yeah, I think do you have a fantasy football drafts coming up?
I've got three.
I've got
I
two.
have one on Friday of next, no, where are we at? Yeah, one on Friday of next week, one on September 1st. So one on Friday, one on Sunday.
Ooh, kind of a
And I
late.
might squeeze one in on Thursday because that's the one I'm the commissioner of. And I have done a terrible job, but I blame my constituents because I've asked them what days work and they have not replied.
Ooh,
There's
I'll
one,
have to
there's a
go ahead.
fourth league that I'm supposed to be in, but I don't think that league's been activated yet. And I'm honestly like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm kind of just going to be like, well, because I joined too many fantasy leagues. Let me just put it that way. And I'll leave it at that.
I'm
I'm always
thankfully
down to
only
join
in
another
two.
one. I'm always down to join more, but every time I do, I'm just like, "Ugh, I can't do this.
Right, right.
I like
I'm
put a
in
cap
two.
and then I break it like the next year. I'm like, this is it. It's
Right.
three. Because the one year I was five and it was terrible.
Oof.
Then it was four and it wasn't great. I brought it down to three. Three was pretty good. And I was like, okay, three. And now it's three, but there's a possibility of a fourth. So
Try to remind yourself how much you hated four.
come like November, December, I'm just like leaned up against the wall. I
right?
can't do it.
Right. And then at the worst is like I seem to always because like it's random draft. Like at least one of mine is it's always random draft order. And I'm always like the ninth or 11th pick. And let me tell you something. You know who's available for the ninth or 11th? No one. That's who's left.
And
Because
everyone's like, well, then it reverses, and then you get to be. It's like doesn't matter because that other round when you're last, I get it. No,
yes, it's so bad. It's so bad. And your team never recovers from it. I don't care how many moves, how many trades you do, your team never freaking recovers from that draft. Ever, never, ever. So I have one. I have one on Saturday and then one on Tuesday the 3rd. So like that's but yeah, I think we should need to one of our next ones needs to be talking about how we see our draft going. And I don't, does anything come? Is any new shows come? Nothing comes soon. Maybe we'll take, maybe we'll take a week off for Labor
yeah,
Day and regroup, maybe
yeah, we might need to.
just to let, just to let some content build up here because
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're
yeah,
hitting.
I literally was gonna say we need to let the content build back up because I don't think there's any games, no NFL games. There are some college football games this week, but
We need to because we did pretty good. I mean, when the Acolyte was out, we were taping twice a week because we had House of Dragon and Acolyte.
true.
So we could do a little vacay for the
Yeah,
holiday and
yeah,
and regroup. So, but yeah, this is what we're looking for. That was our highs of the year and what we're looking
yes,
forward to. So this is, we hope everybody, if you have kids starting school, we hope it went swimmingly and that everybody kind of gets ready to enjoy whatever if you don't enjoy football, I don't know what to tell you. I think your life's miserable.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. But or maybe you got hockey season. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you people watch.
Whatever floats your boat.
All right. And by me, you people, I mean non-football watching people, because I really don't know what you so what do you mean by you people? I immediately think of Tropic Thunder.
Always.
Did you send me the video of Robert Downey Jr. in every single
And yes, somebody AI'd him on every
every
single character.
character?
Like that was a full belly laugh. Like it wasn't like like I genuinely was laughing
Yes.
out loud.
Which takes us back to full circle that not everybody is completely sold on the idea of RDJ
Exactly. It's not
playing
just
Doom.
us.
Right. And on that, we're going to sign out because we are correct and we will be proven right at the end. And if
Yes.
not, you will hear us say we were wrong, but we don't care. You can have that hill. So until then,
We'll see
bye.
you guys.